Mr. Olcott, for what purpose?
Mr. Speaker, yes. Would the gentleman yield for a question?
Absolutely.
Gentleman yields for questions.
Representative Lopez, since January of 2021, we've had over 5 million illegal boarding crossings into our state, not including gotaways. Why are we trying to pass a program that would bring even more immigration in our state, especially considering the H-2A agricultural visas are uncapped?
Well, there's several reasons that we should be doing it. The primary reason that I'm bringing it forward is because I've gotten a lot of encouragement from chambers of commerce, from different labor organizations, from different service organizations that say they desperately need workers. The comment that you made was there's been a lot of illegal crossings. This is not an illegal crossing bill. This is about bringing a legal process by which the governor's office would work with the Texas Workforce Commission to establish a positive immigration program that would allow us to fill jobs that the Texas Workforce Commission has identified as having a shortage of workers. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to move business forward. I think we all agree that business needs the labor force, needs a qualified labor force, but it's got to be a legal labor force. It also has an opportunity for us to go in and do all types of validations, whether it's biometric validation, whether it's ICE reporting and things of that nature, to ensure that these individuals, if they for some reason extend their time here, their legal time here, that they will be sent back, that they will be arrested and sent back. And that's the issue of this program. It's being really brought forward to be able to bring Texas labor force to bear with the need.
But Representative Lopez, you do understand that the presence of all these additional illegal aliens that have come in there are going to suppress wages and hurt the working wages of some of the most vulnerable people, the blacks, Hispanics, the people. How do you feel about this?
I appreciate you saying that. That was one of the major concerns that I had with it. But the assurance that I've gotten is that this program would be identified by Texas Workforce Commission and identify just those labor positions that we have a shortage in. We would only recruit those individuals, bring them over to be able to fill those jobs, which I believe balances off the labor force that we need to be able to keep our economy going. So with that, I absolutely believe that this is, with all the possibilities of there being error, there's plenty, I think, safeguards to make sure that error is minimized and that this is a good program for Texas.
Well, I'm also wanting to ask if you're aware of the fact that since the Bureau of Labor Statistics, January 2025 current population survey, 12%, only 12% of the job growth since the COVID in 2020, only 12% has gone to U.S.-born citizens. Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not aware of that, but I don't doubt it.
And you can see how, by bringing in more guest workers, that's going to make it even more of a competitive situation.
It certainly could be, but I'll tell you what is even more competitive is that we have a shortage of housing workers. We have a shortage in our lodging industry. We have a shortage in our restaurant industry, and that's creating a significant problem with our businesses. That's what I'm trying to address.
Okay, and then finally, I just want to mention the fact that I know you're on the other side of the aisle, but according to Texas Geo priorities, border security, universal E-Verify, and mandatory 287G are two of the top priorities for the GOP, and none of those have been brought to the floor yet. And now we're talking about bringing in, voting on a guest worker program that's contrary to the GOP platform. So I'll be voting no.
Mr. Darby, for what purpose?
Will the gentleman yield?
Does the gentleman yield for questions?
Absolutely.
Gentleman yields for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. I think the genesis for this bill probably originated from a conversation you and I had last summer, did it not?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
You know, I'm familiar with this program. Growing up in West Texas, we had labor shortages, whether it be shearing sheep or working cattle or working the fields, crops. There would be ranchers and farmers that would go down to Mexico under this Becerro program. And if I'm correct, that program was in effect from 1942 until 1964. So this is a program that we've tried before, and it worked. It certainly worked in my area to address the shortages in the labor force. And your bill is designed and it's styled temporary guest worker program. Each one of those words is important. It's temporary, correct?
Correct.
Is this a permanent program or is this a temporary program?
Temporary with lots of restrictions.
The second word is guest. Does this mean it leads to permanent status here in the United States, or are they simply a guest?
They're a guest.
And what does the word worker mean to you?
It's an individual that is coming into function in a industry that has been identified by the Texas Workforce Commission to be able to be of need and of lacking in labor support.
Now, will this program lead to workers bringing their families or claiming benefits here in Texas?
No, sir. Specifically, it does not allow that to happen. These individuals are allowed to come in, do the work as prescribed by their permit, with oversight from the federal government as well as the Texas Workforce Commission. And at the point that permit expires, they will need to report back into their home country. Their home country has also agreed to send them and provide us that level of coordination.
Now, aren't there obligations put upon the employer that they're responsible for these workers that come over, and they're responsible to make sure that they attend for work, and if they're not working, then they report that to the authorities? Is that correct?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, the employers need to apply and qualify for these positions that are going to be made available, and then the recruitment will come. I mean, for those folks that think this is going to be a program where you send an 18-wheeler down to the border, pick up a bunch of people, bring them into the United States and release them to go to work, that is not what this program does. What this program does is establish a process by which we are able to bring in, as we all want, legal, contributing individuals to come and meet our workforce here in Texas, putting our economy, making our economy even stronger.
And finally, doesn't Canada have this exact same program?
Yes, my understanding is true.
I mean, Canada has utilized this program to provide temporary shortages in labor for their various businesses there in Canada, and it's been widely successful, has it not?
It has been very successful. Yes.
I think it's a good bill. I think people should get over kind of a natural inclination not to examine the merits of the program itself. This has safeguards in it. It is a temporary. It has to do with guests, and it has to do with working. And I think that's what this state's about. Thank you for the bill.
No, thank you.
The chair recognizes Mr. Olcott in opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I have to admit, I'm in shock. While we have really good immigration bills stalled in committees, like a really good E-Verify bill, 287G, which is going to require local law enforcement to work with the Trump administration to help them with deportations. The first bill that comes to our House addressing this is a bill to bring in even more immigration. As I said, more than 5 million foreign nationals have come into this country over the last few years. And if you're, the other side of the aisle likes to talk about wages. It's a supply and demand thing. You bring in more people, it's going to suppress wages. If there is a shortage in any of these fields, it probably means they're not getting paid enough money. And I cannot believe that we're here talking about passing legislation that, according to the Republican Party of Texas platform, it calls for the reduction and or elimination of guest worker program, not the expansion. And I'll be voting no. Thank you.
The verification reflects there are 65 ayes and 76 nays. House Bill 2858 fails to pass to engrossment.